Welcome back, Chaz, to the grit.
Marathon streak we're on here, David Lee, right through the holidays.
Continues.
Nothing slows us down.
I know. How do you feel about that? Should we, I know other podcasts, they do seasons.
Yeah.
And
Nope.
then they take breaks.
Nope.
You want to ever take a break?
Nope. We just leg this one out.
I agree. I don't really, I'm grateful that we've, when I look back over the years, it's like I've continued to engage in surfing and pay attention and invest in because we have this obligation to listeners.
Totally.
Otherwise, I would have taken months off at a time and probably just, frivolously spent that time doing something stupid.
I would have done something way dumber than waking up in the morning and Google searching surf and then hitting the news button to see if there's any shark attack and or surf adjacent things to think about.
Discipline is a good thing.
It's like a steel trap. Discipline.
We would not have had any discipline without feeling an obligation to the listenership.
So true.
Thank you, listenership.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Good news.
Make us better people.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, what? A pair of album
slides.
Oh, these are absolutely epic.
From the one and only Matt Parker of Album Surfboards.
These are absolutely epic. I will fully wear these.
What do you got there?
I got a pair of leather slides.
What's a slide?
Well, soccer slide, I think, is the... Did you call them slides? Did we have this conversation?
I don't remember.
On air? You don't call them slides?
I just want you to describe to the listener who may not be familiar with the terminology.
Got it. It is a leather sandal.
Correct.
Without the toe thing, right?
So a Birkenstock would be a slide.
Yeah. Okay. No, because I think the slide, how I specifically refer to slides as soccer slides, it is the Adidas whatever sandal thing that you kick your soccer cleats off and you slide into a slide, right? Okay. This is more adjacent to that than a Birkenstock, I would say.
The base reminds me of a Birkenstock.
The base is Birkenstock-esque, but the upper, wow, what fine leather.
Isn't it?
I mean, my goodness gracious.
I was going to pull up his website so I could give you the details.
I mean, this is about as good a gift as could be given. That is a proper house shoe.
Completely agree. Okay, I got it right here. Tumbled full grain leather, synthetic suede top footbed, nylon webbing pull tabs with CW and album logo, cork footbed, premium open top sandwich mesh, no foam backing, Vibram rubber bottom plate.
I'll tell you what, stinking Matt Parker, when he puts his mind to something, when he does something, there's no half step. There is no good enough. No cut corner.
So I was thinking about this because that's entirely true and accurate. And so what surfboard manufacturers have successfully transitioned into the apparel game, and we need to look at this from two angles. Maintaining kind of the premium surfboard, design and construction prowess, and also the same thing with apparel. Because you look at Rusty, and Rusty, it could be argued, has had peaks and valleys in his surfboard manufacturing and also with the clothing manufacturing, because it's changed hands a number of times. Different people own the licenses. It ends up in Marshalls and Ross or whatever.
Licensing groups.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we build this list?
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, I'll say, does Hayden do anything with clothing? I feel he does collaborations.
Does he?
Clothing space.
I know he does collaborations in the surfboard space, like with Chanel.
Yeah, I feel like he's one that I would think might do something good. Like the thing is with Matt is like Parker of Album is that he is, exactly. He is bringing the same ethos to like product, and it's not like a big production thing, right? Like I think the old surfboard manufacturers of old, when they would, make t-shirt lines from loss to whatever, like it was to basically fund the board side of the business, I think, or make up for, the margins of board ain't great, right?
That's true. I think it was also always thought of as like a marketing thing for the surfboards. But we're going to have merch.
Sure.
But it was just, let's go to the local t-shirt printer and print the same blanks that everybody else prints with our logo on them.
I don't think there was much thought in it.
Exactly.
Where what Matt Parker here is doing is very thoughtful, which I would love for other surfboard manufacturers to the same sort of attention to detail that is necessary to build surfboards. Why not apply it to other stuff?
Totally agree. Well, because it takes that much time and effort
Sure, but like, I don't know, we
to
all,
do it well.
I guess so, but I feel like every or many surfboard manufacturers would have one product that they really love, right?
Yeah.
Like, be it a pen or a wallet or, you know, something. Why not just apply it to one thing? Why not just think, hey,
That's
you
a good
know,
point.
I think about this stuff anyway. I like this product anyway. I have access to, you know, manufacturing and whatnot. I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah,
I'm going to go out and make myself the world's best pen.
I like it. You're into pens, right?
I love pens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm a pen
remember
man.
I remember learning that at some point, and I am not a pen man. I'm into the Bic basic roller. The thing works every single time. Beautiful slide and glide.
Get thyself a Mont Blanc and you won't turn back.
You know what? If somebody wants to
Gift?
Christmas gift it,
Yep.
great. Otherwise, there's no chance I encounter
The
that.
problem is, if someone Christmas gifted you a Mont Blanc, a listener, if I was that listener, I would fear that you were going to return it.
And then just go on a surf trip with the money.
Exactly. Just go spend the money on something frivolous and stupid.
Well, in terms of Christmas gifts, I would recommend the album Slide. This thing is
100%.
beautiful.
100%.
And you'll just look cool. Like everybody's going to look down and go, who are you?
Yep.
Where'd you come from? What do you do for a living?
Yep.
How do you have so much style?
Yep.
So yeah,
All
thank
thanks
you.
to Matt. All
Thank
thanks
you,
to the
Matt.
hard work Matt has done.
Generous and thoughtful.
Such a great guy.
Way ahead of his schedule too for gifting.
Man, I mean, that's when you know a man is on top of his game.
Totally.
When the gift boxes are being ticked months in advance.
Yeah, the very first day of December.
Yep.
Have you even started a gift list yet?
I know what I'm going to get the wife.
Okay, that's good. That's a start.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
That's where my gift list starts and ends.
It's really the important one. Kids always have more than they need. And yeah. Parents, siblings don't really care at this age.
Yeah.
So a couple of follow-ups. How was Thanksgiving?
Great. Guess what time I partook in Thanksgiving dinner?
6.
7.
Oh, wow.
Bang.
Wow.
But then I realized the downside of it.
You can't have, there's no room for dessert.
Well, and yeah, that I did not have dessert. Now that you bring it up, you're right. Also, like the sort of progressive boozy mess, like it's hard to control. I
started early.
Yeah, I was not boozy at all. Oddly,
okay.
I was tending bar.
Oh,
But just watching the party kind of skitter out. Yeah, it was like we started too early. I think people came over at 3. And so
that's what I recommended was get them drunk before dinner.
that's what happened, which was great, I guess.
I was just thinking more about myself. That's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily my guests. We didn't eat till 5:30.
Great.
I know.
How good did you feel?
Well, the dessert thing is, that's why I brought it up, is we baked a pie at home. Never touched that pie. Like we ate at 5:30, probably finished around 7. It's mainly because we have a baby.
Yeah.
So then by 8 o'clock, we're like, man, we want to get home and get the baby in bed. We want to go to bed. I'm not hungry for dessert yet. So we left the pie behind, but future brother-in-law, he does a pie party or like a pie contest Thanksgiving night. After everybody gets done with their families, they then go meet at his house at 9 or 10.
For the pie.
And and you could bring a new pie if you want, or you could just bring the leftover pie from your family get together. So it's kind of a way for friends to get together for Thanksgiving without intruding on your family obligations.
Right.
So he took our apple pie to the pie party and we won.
Oh, how good did that feel?
Great, except I never got to taste the pie.
Oh, well,
You know?
were you tempted? I mean, so the problem is when you leave the pie, I suppose, then you're stuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're hosting though, I'll tell you what I did the next morning Black Friday, I woke up and had myself a pie breakfast.
Me too. I've been doing it every day since.
Yeah.
Because I did also make a pumpkin pie at home, and that's what I've been doing.
I don't understand. It made me think this. I mean, I do it after the end of every Thanksgiving. You know, we'll eat pie for breakfast.
Yeah.
And then I'll forget, and next Thanksgiving I'll do it again. I want to start making pies for breakfast. I mean, making it the night before, but specifically that's the breakfast food. Why not?
Well, there's such a thing as a quiche.
Yeah.
It's a breakfast pie.
Sure.
Savory breakfast pie.
But like a straight up apple, what's your favorite pie? We've talked about this.
Yeah, we have apples up there for sure.
I'm a straight, love most pie, but rhubarb pie for me is number 1.
I do remember that.
But a rhubarb pie for breakfast would be just as fine as anything.
Yeah.
Why am I not doing that?
So I do love a pastry for breakfast.
Yeah,
But the pie is among the better pastries that you could have for breakfast.
precisely.
Yeah. So I grew up eating pumpkin pie, I guess being forced to eat pumpkin pie warm out of the oven.
Yeah.
As an adult, I far prefer it cold.
Oh, a warm pumpkin pie makes me retch just thinking about it.
It kind of melts a little bit, so the texture's off, and then I feel like it also nullifies the flavors.
Yeah.
Like people who drink warm sake.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Yeah, that's gross.
Completely nullifies the flavors. Cold in its pure state with obviously whipped cream.
Yep.
And when it's also cold, it's solidified a bit, so you can eat it without a fork.
Dense.
I cut a sliver every morning nowadays, hand pie,
Yep.
dip it in the whipped cream, and then a sip of coffee to go with it. It is phenomenal.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect breakfast.
It really is.
We're blowing it using, pie is a breakfast food.
Fully.
Pie is not an after dinner dessert.
Fully.
Yeah.
Yeah. No need to stay at the party late
No.
to eat pie. Go ahead, do the dinner at 7, go home without the pie. What was I going to ask you too about that getting drunk part? I had a thought about that. Oh, the older I get, this might be related to having a kid as well. Alcohol's making me so tired.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be able to drink in like for hours and hours and hours and not have to worry about that. I get so tired nowadays.
You're a dad.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. You're going to be like sawing logs pretty soon.
It's
like
crazy.
8 p.m., just like snoring loudly, having fallen asleep with your phone on your chest. Because,
dude,
yeah, you just can't hold it together.
And everybody always used to say that. They're like, I don't want wine with dinner, I'll fall asleep. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's not a thing. So like going to Thanksgiving, I know there's going to be alcohol there. And in advance, I was like, I don't think I'm going to drink really because
Get too sleepy.
I want to be awake. I want to enjoy the event. So I think what it is the hours between 9 o'clock at night and 7 a.m. actually require me to now be on my A game. I used to use those hours for recovery.
Yep.
So I could actually drink, from whatever, cocktail hour up until bedtime, powering hard, knowing I'm going to shut it off at 10 or 11.
Go to sleep.
Fully recover for 8 hours, wake up, and then I can handle my day.
Yep.
Well, now those nighttime hours require me to be on my A game, so I can't actually diminish my battery leading up to that.
So what you'll do is start day drinking, and then you will fall asleep at 8 o'clock and wake up at 1 a.m., recharged and ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the baby doesn't wake up before 1 a.m. because otherwise he's in trouble.
Yeah, the problem I realized with my party, I didn't think about it until after. The cocktail that was wanted, I didn't select, was the martini, which I thought, oh, it's fine. It's, classy. I can make a good martini. I'm happy to make martinis. Serving straight vodka at 3 a.m. Is not a great call.
At 3 a.m.
3 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
Like that's the problem is the cocktail. A martini should have been like after, like
it's an evening cocktail. So sun needs to be down.
Yep. So next year, if hosting again, I will serve some sort of cocktail that's so light in alcohol that people don't even really know.
A margarita is a great call.
Except
margaritas, Christmas version.
Margaritas, you can get like that sugar headache, and people pound them. And
I don't put sugar in mine.
People get sloppy on margaritas. I feel. Where I gotta invent something that has such a low alcohol content that people think they're getting.
Man, you've changed.
Boozy.
You've changed so much.
I know, but like having hosted, I think I had one martini for taste, and then that was it. I was just like, hosting, running around, doing stuff. I've changed.
You really have.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a bummer.
I had Warshaw over last week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And you know what his drink is?
Warshaw's I know he's wine, but he is also
his cocktail. He does one a night.
Manhattan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
So knowing he was coming over, I was like, all right, I'm making him a Manhattan.
Yeah.
And there's a traditional Manhattan known as the Manhattan.
Yep.
There's also the perfect Manhattan, which is the vermouth component. You do 50-50 sweet vermouth and dry vermouth.
Okay.
Whereas the traditional Manhattan's just sweet vermouth.
Yep.
So I made him a perfect Manhattan. But this is how great of a guy Matt is. I told him, I'll make you a Manhattan when you come over because I know that's your drink of choice. He shows up with all the ingredients for a Manhattan.
He's
like, I didn't know if you had all the ingredients. And then he looks over at my bar cart that has every type of alcohol you could want. And he goes, I should have known.
What is Warshaw's whiskey of choice for his Manhattan?
He just uses Bullet.
Okay. Bullet rye?
No.
Bullet.
You're supposed to use rye.
Yeah.
But no, he used Bullet bourbon. So his is his own version.
Yeah. So
Even
did
though-
you make him his version or did you make him a perfect?
Well, so I said, okay, we're making my version first, and then the second lap we'll do your version.
Was he willing to go round 2 with you?
No, he wasn't.
He was not. He does one Manhattan and that's it. The odd thing about,
I did round 2.
of course, how do you stop at one drink? Who has one drink?
Matt Warshaw does.
Psychopaths.
He's the only guy.
Yeah.
He's the only guy.
One drink.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, martinis, so it depends what kind of a drink, like margaritas, I could have 8, I feel like.
Sure.
My favorite line that somebody gave me about martinis, because those are totally different categories. Those
Of course.
you can get blasted on, but they're like, 1's not enough, 2 is too many, and 3's not enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The first one, you're like, I need another.
Yeah.
You drink the second, you're like, oh, that's too many.
Yeah.
But if you drink that third one, you're like, bring on 4, 5, 6,
It's
and
true.
then it's lights out.
It's true.
It really is. More than any other alcohol, it's that way with that.
Martini, it's funny how specific, I didn't realize, again, I should have realized, but how specific a martini is for a time and place. It's for lunch, a lunch business meeting,
Yeah.
the 2 martini lunch, or it is for 10 p.m. and beyond. Like your sort of, not your nightcap per se.
No, it's pre-dinner.
Yeah.
But I'll even go a step further and say I want a certain meal with it.
Yeah.
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
If I go to a steakhouse.
Ooh, a good wood paneled walled steakhouse, like old school steakhouse. Have you ever been to Red Tracton's down in
Yes, in Del Mar.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's like my favorite. I love some Red Tracton's martini with a big steak with a ton of horseradish, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Steakhouse. See, the difference between you and I go gin.
Yeah.
So I go gin dirty.
Okay.
As dirty as
I'll make it.
the bartender's willing to make it.
Blue cheese stuffed?
Yeah.
Jalapeno stuffed?
Never had it.
Okay.
We'll stuff the blue cheese at home ourselves though.
Yep.
To get just like a good, because the ones you buy in a jar are just terrible.
The cheese is terrible.
Totally.
It's like fake cheese almost, like packed in there.
Yeah.
Like it should be a little crumbly so it can come crumbling out.
I usually throw in a little crumble in the bottom of the drink.
Great.
And just mix it in.
Good idea.
But yeah, we'll get like good quality blue cheese, good quality olives, stuff them at home because you can't rely on the jars. Clean flavors is what you want.
Yep.
So the other detail is I bought this olive brine on Amazon. It's called Filth. And it comes in a little vacuum pack pouch.
Great idea.
Yeah, and it's super clean. So with olive brine, you don't want oil, even though it is olives. You don't want oil. You just want like
Brine.
Yeah. And so this is delicious. You could drink it straight by itself.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So, and then it doesn't go
would come up
bad.
with that.
Because the other thing is with the jar of olive, if you're spilling out the juice to use for your drink,
Olives go gross.
and they go completely dry at a certain point. So you're like, I don't want to buy super expensive olives and then let them go dry, but I want the expensive brine. Boom. Filth on Amazon.
They should be a podcast sponsor.
They should be.
If they were a podcast sponsor, I would drink a martini every show.
I agree. Just like we do Athletic Greens.
Exactly.
Boom. We can balance out the health. The other big important development in this last week is that Spotify Wrapped. Spotify has been dropping, if you use their service, they send you a December 1st Wrapped, and it's their year of your own listening habits.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The number 1 song of the year for you that you listen to.
Truly?
Yep.
I didn't know this.
The number 1 podcast that you've listened to, or your top 5 or top 10.
Where is it? On your homepage?
You open the app and it's on the homepage.
Wow.
So listeners have been posting their Spotify Wrapped podcast playlists, which we're appearing on. So far, the listener who has listened to the most minutes of The Grit is Nick Bravante. And you want to know how many minutes he's listened to?
How many?
Do you want to just shout a guess? In 1 year's time.
1 year's time, I'm going to say he's listened to, say each show is about 90 minutes. I'm going to say he's listened to 1,000 minutes.
10,348 minutes.
Nick Bravante. What does Nick Bravante get? Does he get a t-shirt? I'll send him
at least. Yeah.
I mean, Nick Bravante, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I also thank you.
I mean, I feel like that's every single episode.
I mean, that's epic. But I just feel sad that he's really, truly listened.
I crunched the number. I think it's 172 hours of listening.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be about an hour and a half show for 50 shows.
Yep.
Right? Maybe we missed a week here or there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nick Bravante.
I know.
Where does Nick live? I feel I know Nick.
I don't know. I think his Instagram handle is the word aloha, like Bravo Aloha maybe or something.
Okay.
So Nick, I will definitely gift him something. I think I have some merch at home from sponsors that send me stuff. So I'll send him a package of something, plus t-shirts.
I wonder, with the old 10,000 hour thing, Nick is now an expert.
He is a surf journalist expert. Or what's he an expert on is really what it comes down to.
I mean, that's the real question.
The expert on how to surf with a newborn.
Yep.
Fashion sense.
Yep.
Dietary.
When to eat Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah.
Guy's a genius.
Yep.
Last episode, you helped. This is a listener, because we give such great advice, asking for surf trip advice. He says, last episode, you helpfully identified the show's exact age demographic, and then you also panned the advice that you give to listeners. I turned 50 last week, and all of this together is the clearest possible sign from the universe that I am gleeful to submit myself for your dodgy guidance.
Perfect.
It's a weird run-on sentence, but I got it.
Makes sense.
So here it goes. For my birthday, my rich wife is giving me a surf trip, and I need suggestions for where to go. Keep in mind that rich is a relative term here, and I'm on the East Coast, and I have an academic schedule, so my options are basically something between Puerto Rico and Costa Rica in early January for a 5-day thing. Also keep in mind, I've been the primary parent to our 5-year-old since before the pandemic, and it's been almost a decade since I did a proper surf trip, so I've earned this, but I haven't kept up with the options. I looked first at the spot we surfed on our honeymoon in Nicaragua, and it's now apparently overrun and super crowded. I will gladly sacrifice quality for smaller crowds and minimal BS. I love decent chest-high surf or better, but I don't need epic. I mostly just want to surf in warm water all day for 5 days and have 2 drinks and pass the hell out and sleep the uninterrupted sleep of a 30-something single person. Is that too much to ask? Maybe, but please inspire a fellow surf dad with hope.
I've got him.
Do you?
Of course.
Wave pool?
No. I mean, if she's really rich, yeah, just go get Kelly's for a couple days. But yeah, he's right on the Nicaragua call. I don't know where he went, but what is it? It's
Colorado's, but that would be what he's referring to as being overcrowded.
Yeah. What's it called? Let me find it.
Rancho
Santana.
Rancho Santana.
Rancho Santana is where you go. It is epic facilities there. I think they have like 20 miles of coastline as part of the resort. And so there's multiple different, and they'll drive you to any one you want to go. So there's different surf experiences. It's all in front of the resort. And so it's not crowded. There's a wave literally right out the front. There's a bunch of fun waves.
Rancho Santana wave.
Yeah.
On like high tide, and it was like peaky A-frames up and down the beach. Is that
exactly?
Okay.
And you can honestly, it's like a 2-second walk from bar to break.
Is it crowded?
No.
Then you got Popoyo down the beach.
Precisely.
Around the corner, right? And there's a couple waves around there too.
Rancho Santana.
Okay.
That's your go.
Solved.
Yeah. Problem solved. Great advice. Always.
Presuming that wasn't what he was referring to about his honeymoon. I presume he was probably talking about Colorado.
I would imagine too. I don't think that Rancho Santana, I don't think it's crowded just because it's both where it is and how they just have all the property. And you can surf it without staying there, but I think it's a bit of a hassle.
Okay. I was going to say the Caribbean too. I mean, he mentioned Puerto Rico. When I was growing up, Barbados was in every surf magazine for a while there. And I thought that looked incredible to me.
Isn't the Carib a bit finicky? Like if you just want to go get some guaranteed surf. And the one thing, I don't know when Rancho Santana is best. I think all year, I mean, you're right. There are times that are better than others, but for what he's looking for, I feel there's always waves there. Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like, it's kind of like Southern California, right? Where it's like, winter's different than summer, but there's always surf. Sure. 300 days a year, I'd say.
Find something.
I like that option.
Is he a goof or regular?
He didn't say.
That's the other thing.
Yeah. He didn't say. I was going to say, when I think January, February, why anywhere other than Hawaii?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, but just crowds. Ooh.
You can find uncrowded waves and islands. You don't have to go to the North Shore of Oahu.
There's another one, Thunderbomb Surf Camp. Looks pretty epic.
Northern Nicaragua.
Exactly. Thunderbomb looks really, really cool.
So they're listeners of the podcast. They DM us every once in a while, and you're absolutely right. It's way uncrowded.
Yep.
There's epic waves.
Yep.
I've surfed the Boom up in that area. I don't
Yep.
know if Thunderbomb is that exact zone, but yeah, it's super good. Way different experience than
Yep.
that other part of Nicaragua. But
Yep.
you're onto something here.
Nicaragua is the go, Thunderbomb, or Rancho Santana.
Hawaii to me, but he's on the East Coast. So
He's on the East Coast, so that is a 9-hour or longer flight,
Yeah.
right? I mean, a 12-odd hour flight to
5
Hawaii.
across the country and then 5 across the Pacific.
Exactly. And then if he just wants chill, he wants to surf
Yeah,
without
true.
hassle.
Nicaragua it is.
Yep.
Done. I can't think past Niyama after Matt Parker told us about it.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't know how much we talked about it on air, but he did a long spiel that really sold me, where it's like where you would bring your wife,
Yep.
basically. It's
Not a bros trip.
not a bros trip because it's so romantic and also posh.
Yep.
But if you want to eat well and have kind of 5-star accommodation and luxury, plus epic surf, Niyama.
I mean, it sounds like a place to move, a place to spend the salad years.
When he said that his wife, Rich, is a relative term,
Yeah.
made me think Niyama might be out of the question.
Maybe,
Maybe.
but maybe not.
Why is it called salad days?
And I think I totally used it wrong. I think your salad days are not your older years. Let's see what.
No, it's the heyday. It's like when you were at your best.
Yeah, are your salad years.
Salad days.
Yeah.
But they could be your years, I suppose.
Yeah.
But why is it called that?
I have no idea. I fully always use it as like your retirement years too, your salad days, but maybe those would be the best days of your life too.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe that's when you're your best.
Salad Days was the name of the song in Chris Ward's section in What's Really Going Wrong, or maybe on.
Fine.
I forget.
Fine film. Both of them.
Fine film, fine song. I got another listener email or DM. He said, checking in. Hold on. Which one should I read first? These are both Ben Gravy related.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start here. As much as Ben may get a bad rep in some circles, he's making surfing accessible. And while he is a bit saccharine, which creates disdain in the quote hardcore community, the guy had a dream, and he found a way to make a living off of surfing, despite a world tour and huge corporations. The idea that any day you can paddle out at your local break on the East Coast and maybe find Ben Gravy is a huge appeal. The WSL barely has any presence out here. And so when there is a void left with no access to the stars, your community kind of creates their own. So you could throw Brett Barley into that category to a certain extent. And tossing it back to the Big Lebowski reference you brought up in your last episode, Ben Gravy is the Big Lebowski of the East Coast. It's good knowing he's out there. The dude abides.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Hard to argue with that.
Anybody then will be hyped to watch For the Dream.
Yep, exactly. And that was really a setup to celebrate the fact that Ben Gravy got married last week.
Ooh, he sure did.
Did you follow this?
I followed. I haven't not seen yet. I've got some funny DMs about things that happened at the wedding, which I heard, or what came to me was a real mixed bag of stuff.
Okay. Do you know who officiated the wedding?
No.
See, the fact that
Chris Cote?
No, the fact that this wasn't a headline on Beach Grit blew my mind. Kalani Robb.
Oh, okay.
Kalani Robb officiated Ben Gravy's wedding.
Does Kalani Robb, is he in the ownership group of Catch Surf, or
I have no idea.
are they just both sponsored by Catch Surf?
That I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Kalani Robb.
That's a big get.
Sure.
For Ben.
I mean,
Yes.
Is it though?
Dude, I grew up idolizing Kalani Robb.
I get it, but they both ride for Catch Surf. You know, they're like...
Well, there's reasons why, and
Sure.
there are connections, and I'm sure it's business related. If not that way, Kalani certainly wants to benefit off of Ben's popularity on YouTube so that Kalani can grow his own audience.
How many views did the wedding get?
There's two wedding videos.
Parts, right?
They're less than 20,000 views each. They're less than all of his other videos are.
So that's what confuses me about Ben Gravy, right? Like, 20,000 views is not a lot.
16 and 18 were the two numbers I saw today.
Let's be frank. Those are low numbers.
Especially for him too.
Yeah. I mean, how many does his surf videos views?
Some of them get 100,000.
But that's it. See, this is the thing. This massive popularity of Ben Gravy, I'm confused by, because that's not a big number either in terms of influencer stuff. He's not. I don't even
he's
think
moving the needle. What I mean, 100,000, and he's doing 2 or 3 a week, by the way. Mm-hmm. So those are like 100,000. I don't think 100 is the average number. So let's say somewhere between 50 and 80. But 50 and 80,000 people engaging in what you do twice a week is significant.
Okay.
You can sell product.
Well, I mean, I guess so. That's the thing. Is he selling catch surf?
Yeah.
Like that's so he's not making. I suppose I was under the impression that he was making his money from AdSense or whatever, from like the served ads on YouTube.
I think he is.
I don't think you make that much on 50,000 views.
A couple times a week, multiple videos a week.
Maybe.
I remember Jamie O'Brien, I don't know if he said this or somebody said it to me about him. He was making like $8,000 a video.
Yeah, but Jamie
off of that stuff.
But Jamie was getting like 350,000 views and stuff on his.
Okay.
He was, I think.
So if you just did the math on that, maybe Ben's making 1,000 a video.
Yeah.
Doing 2 or 3 videos a week.
I guess so. It's a good living.
It adds up.
It's a good living.
So
you do, but you didn't watch any of the wedding.
Okay, I skimmed through it because I got DMs about it too, which we can talk about the good and the bad. First of all, congratulations to the beautiful Gravies.
Massive congratulations.
Forgot to get that out of the way.
Well done.
I mean, truly, so there's talking points that we can make fun of and criticize, but then I watch the videos and I'm like,
that's a cute wedding.
Love is beautiful.
Yep, love is
beautiful. David, shut up. Don't say a negative word.
Yep.
Do not rain on that love parade.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. So congratulations. But if you're going to put yourself on YouTube, if you're going to blast yourself out there, then there's going to be commentary, right?
Yep.
Your job is to blast yourself out. Our job is commentary.
Yep.
So the videos do not follow the same formula of all of his other videos.
Are they like wedding videos?
Yes.
I mean, are you watching a wedding video?
One of them is similar to traditional wedding videos where there's people talking to the camera saying what they love about the couple and then cut to the ceremony itself and the wedding vows and all that kind of cut. The second video is just one stagnant angle of the ceremony.
Okay.
Now,
who were some stars in attendance?
Well, because I just skimmed the video, I don't know, other than Kalani Robb. I didn't see any other stars. And the other thing is I don't really know his...
Chuck Patterson was there.
Was he?
I saw that on Instagram.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
And I think somebody in the DM said that Jamie O'Brien was there.
Yeah.
I don't know the cast of characters in his world, so they could be celebrities that I just don't know.
Okay.
I don't know any celebrities anymore, by the way.
Yeah.
We've been watching The Voice, and like they have famous musical acts come on and perform.
And you have no idea who they are.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea at all.
Yeah.
You know? Anyways. And I'm disappointed in our youth that they make these people famous. The music is awful.
But imagine
completely awful.
Imagine that's what old people for all time have said.
I know.
When the Beatles came out, had some
I get it.
older guy sitting there saying, "This is noise. What is this noise?"
It really is.
Led Zeppelin, listen to this garbage.
Yeah. No, I mean, I last night I was just like, how? And then Carson Daly comes back on and he goes, I don't know what the female singer's name was, but he's like, yeah, she went viral on TikTok 6 months ago and her songs, played 10 million times. I'm like, yeah, that's why she didn't earn, like, of course that's how she's famous. You know what I mean?
I was watching akin to The Voice, America's Next Top Model or America's Top Model or whatever. Okay. But I think it's an older season. Okay. I mean, it clearly was an older season, not that much older, but watch it with the daughter, get a good laugh out of it sometimes. They had somebody on there, like, their special guest person who was going to come do something with, like, for one of the photo shoots or whatever. She was a Vine star with over 20 million followers, which just made me really laugh, like, about a Vine star.
I already forgot about Vine.
Vine was like such a blip. And imagine the Vine star who has their 20 million Vine followers. What are they doing now? I mean, it's theoretically, I guess you built on other platforms too, but
I'm sure some didn't.
But to hear the word Vine star,
already forgot about it.
Puts it all into perspective.
Totally.
How laughable it all is.
So that
Vine
went away 18 months ago. It wasn't
Yeah.
even that long ago.
Yeah.
And you and I have already forgotten.
So when I heard Vine Star, it was like it really truly made me belly laugh because I hadn't thought about it in so long. And then imagining somebody who was a Vine star.
Think about that Vine star who made $50,000 a month for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And was just like,
boom,
buying a house, buying a Ferrari, then 3 months later
Did Vine sell or did it just go under?
They got crushed under the weight of Instagram stories.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram pivoted
to stories.
Like they just were going to copy you guys.
Yeah.
And then Vine was no longer relevant.
Gone.
Yeah.
Did you have a Vine?
No.
Yeah.
No. I don't have Snapchat. I haven't gotten on TikTok yet, even though I advised you to.
It's crazy that the youth, at least the 19-year-old, 20-year-old, they still Snapchat. That is that is their language.
Good for them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure and TikTok's here to stay. It's not that I think it's going away and that's why I haven't gotten into it. It's just I've run out of time.
Yeah.
I've run out of time, and even on Instagram, it's less and less gratifying. Scrolling is less gratifying, and I don't have the time to engage in. When I do post, it requires a lot of maintenance, and the thing is, I love doing it.
Yeah,
I actually enjoy posting and interacting with listeners through DMs. I just don't have the time or bandwidth for it.
It's crazy. I have found that I use Instagram basically like email now.
Right.
I mean, like another email.
Totally.
I have my email, and then the DMs is also where I have, or I suppose like a text message chain.
It's completely worth doing for me and for you. I just don't have the time.
The problem with that is if it was just like a messaging service, it'd be a lot easier kind of. But like if you don't post, then like you just get disappeared.
Right.
So you have to keep it up. You have to jump through the hoop in order to have this. I mean, I guess that's the price of doing business, man.
It is. For me, if I have to cut something out, I can't cut the podcast production out because that's the bread and butter.
Yeah.
But I can't just exist on Instagram. I have to keep putting out the content. So anyways, back to Ben Gravy. Congratulations to Ben Gravy.
Huge congrats.
Somebody said checking in from the North Jersey zone. Did you get this one?
Did.
Because I know this guy's a Beach Grit commenter all the time. I'm a moderate Ben Gravy fan, but my kids eat him up religiously. The 2 wedding videos that he made recently are unwatchable to the point that even my kids abandoned them. I'll get back to his message in a moment, but what I will say is they were not cut from the same cloth as all of his other videos. These are wedding videos, but I was like, Ben has to put his wedding online.
Does he?
Considering what he's doing and what his brand is, he is almost obligated to share this with his list viewership. And so if you're going to do it, it's going to be something without surfing. If you're going to do a proper wedding video, it can't have surfing in it. So he just has to do it. Sure, it's not going to get as many views, but you have to honor the obligation. That's what I'm suggesting.
But really though? I mean, why does Ben Gravy have to put his wedding video on YouTube?
Ben's whole thing is showing his every day, showing all of his life, pulling back the curtain on his life and sharing it with his viewers. So he's obligated to. Any meeting his girlfriend was part of the journey. Getting engaged was part of the journey. Planning for the wedding was part of the journey. How can you not share that part of the journey?
Okay, but then if you're obligated to share it, why not shoot it in a way that is akin to the rest of your content? Why go out?
How do you incorporate surfing into it?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to have surfing, but couldn't it have like I don't watch Ben Gravy stuff.
And nor do I. So who am I to say? You know what I mean? I don't really know. Well, anyways, the second part of this listener's comment was the worst part about the wedding videos was the filmer asking the viewers nonstop to send donations to Ben and his wife for the wedding. Even my son thought that was tacky.
Did that happen? Did you see it?
Yes. So I pulled up, after getting that, I'm like, oof, that is tacky. So I pull up the video, and to my surprise, all of the comments in the comment section were positive. And then YouTube has a thing now where it shows, it's like, what are cam girls or OnlyFans where you can see people's donations as they're coming in. So YouTube has a tally. $200 donations, $50 donations, $100 donations.
People throwing money at the Gravies.
People throwing hundreds of dollars and commenting,
Congrats, Ben.
excited to contribute to your wedding. So like us thinking that it's tacky and our listener commenting that they tuned out because it was tacky was not the consensus on the comments.
People loved it.
People loved it, and it was OnlyFans status or camgirl status.
Well, great.
Yeah.
I mean, is that great? Uh-oh.
I don't know.
That makes me feel sort of uncomfortable.
I mean, regardless of whether I think it's tacky, it's something that's happening in the real world right now, or in not the real world, but in this viral world where it's like
people are happy
tip
to,
jar.
Yeah,
public tip jar, which you and I have as we have subscribers.
Sure,
but the weird part about this is, this having subscribers for the podcast is a business plan, right? Allow us to stay kind of independent and adjacent to the surf industry, so that we can just talk openly about whoever it is, surf
Ben
brands
Gravy
or Ben Gravy or whatever it is. And so the business model, the listeners understand the business model. They can either choose to fund it or not. That'd be like if you and I were like, okay, we're going to go on vacation next month and we want to have an extra nice vacation. So
hey,
here's a fund drive for the vacation, not for the business itself.
Well, but
that's the weird part.
Here's the thing though. It'd be like if you and I went on vacation and said, come on, viewers, come along with us. And sat down at the bar drinking, oh man, I need another cocktail, but who wants to pay for it?
Right.
So I guess the viewer would get to be along on this weird journey. They don't like experiencing it secondhand.
Yeah.
Which feels, I would never do that, feels very, very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To me. But I suppose there would be a theoretical entertainment value for the viewer.
The viewer is clearly okay doing it.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it and commenting with congratulations.
Well, and I know this is true in like Twitch and the other platforms. Like people are happy to give money to the personalities that they enjoy, watching or interacting with or all that. Like this is not a foreign concept, obviously. Ben didn't invent the giving wheel.
No, correct. I agreed with our listener at first in that that's tacky and it kind of flies in the face of.
But it is the world Ben lives in.
He
lives in a different.
And I'm kind of sold on it.
Yeah.
Because when I watched that documentary, the yet to be released Ben Gravy documentary for The Dream, they interviewed, or he met some kid on the beach somewhere. I forget where it was. And that kid was socially awkward. I think he had like a developmental handicap of some sort. And he was explaining why Ben Gravy is important to him. And he was saying, like, in the real world, in my human-human interactions, people make fun of me at school. I'm not accepted anywhere. And through this portal on the internet, I have full acceptance and actually am encouraged to go out in the sunlight and go surfing and do these things. And Ben's sitting there and he's putting his arm around the kid and like, absolutely, like, come surf with us, go on our next trip with us and all this sort of thing. And I thought I always think about the screen as being not real and creating a divide between humanity. And I don't think it is. I think it's
Ben's life is as you see it.
And there's human connection happening through the screen. Like it's actually a portal into humanity, not a separation of humanity.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Ben Gravy metaverse.
It's shocking. It's the Ben Gravy metaverse.
It is. And like, again, big congrats to Ben Gravy, but,
and Jordan
Gravy. I would not wish that upon, to be honest, my worst enemy, that living that lifestyle.
That's the other thing.
That seems like, and great that Ben wants to do it and great that Jordan's along for the ride, but
it takes a unique
personality
type and he's that personality type. And so great, it's funny, continue killing it.
I was, the wife, Cersei Wallace.
It's funny how you always refer to her as the wife.
The wife.
Not my wife.
The wife put up a Instagram post last week. This is adjacent to our Ben Gravy conversation. That was totally fine, right? It was like funny and fine. Got, a bunch of good comments on it. But it was like I'll just say what it was.
What was the post?
Well, it was Chloe Kim, the snowboarder.
I wanted to ask you about this.
So Chloe Kim, snowboarder, real awkward, super awkward in like on the cover of Shape magazine, like weirdly dressed in high heels, in bindings on a snowboard. Like the whole shot was fully kooky, right?
Posing like Mark Zuckerberg on a e-foil.
Fully, yeah. It was epically kooky. And so the wife called out the kookiness of it, sort of. or did directly. And had a
She said, Chloe Kim, fire your management.
yeah.
That's what she said. Cersei's getting grit again.
Yeah, Cersei got grit again. Yeah, so said that, huge vast majority positive comments, right? Like people like
supporting Cersei.
Supporting Cersei,
yeah,
yeah.
saying absolutely that is so cringy.
Yep.
What is she doing?
A couple though, like, hey man, shred hate or stop poking fun of Chloe Kim, even though that was not her intention. It was just like, hey man, like this is a bad position for you to be in. This is a bad look. Whoever lets you do this is, you should think about that sort of thing. Anyway, I think there was 2 or 3 maybe like, stop picking on Chloe comments. It made the wife feel so bad that she had to rip it down, right?
No way.
She ripped down the post, and I was sitting at my computer chortling, thinking, poor thing, doesn't have the stomach for it, right? And she doesn't. And like the thought that her intention would be misinterpreted by one person is enough to make her feel really, really bad, right? Like where I'm thinking, great, like that I am, she is as earnest and open and honest a person as exists, right? Like heart perpetually on sleeve. For me, I can take all kinds of flack in anything I do because that's funny to me, right? Like, did you watch the latest episode of Succession?
No.
There's, for those who watch Succession, I mean, I guess it's too complicated to get into, but all to say, people have different levels of like what feels okay for them. I can get all the hate in the entire world perpetually, and it won't even make me break my stride. When I do feel weird is if Cersei comes on the show and says a positive thing about me, lifts the curtain in that way in my personal life, that's where I'll feel weird. I'll take a flogging publicly for stances that I take as part of, not that it's shtick, it's what I really think, half the time. Who knows what I even think anymore? Like,
but it's professional.
Sure.
Like it's in a professional realm.
And it's it's performance, it's entertainment at some level.
Yeah.
So Cersei has zero appetite for, whatever. I have a big, or not appetite, but am able to take on all kinds of hate. Ben, I suppose, it's no problem for him to have everybody looking at every ounce of his personal life.
Yeah.
That's where that to me feels like, oh man, I could never do that. I could never have a camera in the house. Like, just whatever he's doing, I could not do.
Agreed. And he's great at it. And he's resonating with people,
The funny thing
and they're
is
funding it.
How much time we spend talking about Ben Gravy versus the WSL these days. Well, which is,
it's relevant. Yeah.
I mean, like Ben Gravy is actually making content that is backdooring into us.
Totally.
For a conversation. We haven't talked about the WSL. I mean, aside from bagging on it I haven't
There's
really
nothing to talk about.
No, Halev is going on. I kind of poked around the first day, was made furious by the World Surf League. I get to go on a rant now. Before they had used to have, their stream on YouTube and on Facebook. Both were embeddable, right? We could at Beach Grit, and I don't know if they were overlooking it or then it kept going, and I thought they could probably fix this really easily if they wanted to. So this must be on purpose. They must be allowing us or people to embed their player. Why not? It's not like we get the views, they get the views. You would think if they were smart, which I thought maybe they're smart, the more places this appears, the better. They turned off all their embeddable links on all their content, which just made me think, fuck you guys. Like, you guys think you have such a big audience, or like, so you're willing to fully turn away, people who are engaging elsewhere, which made me think, for the first time, I really thought potentially boycotting WSL. Not talking about it, not thinking about it, having nothing to do with the WSL and Beach Grit.
Fair enough. The 2022 season is shaping up to be a banger, though.
Sure, but I mean, I didn't say I wasn't committed to it boycott, but I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, okay. So WSL related, your local homeboy Jake Marshall just qualified for CT. Is he America's next great hope?
Nope.
I don't think so either.
And that's the problem is I think the storm, the raging storm, I just don't see it abating really.
Of Brazilians?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't see one of these Jake Marshalls or Colapintos or any one of them breaking through that.
Dude, you show me a clip of Marshall and it'll be a fractionally as good as the last 10 that Felipe dropped or Idolo. Forget about Idolo. Forget about Gabe. You know, I mean, just Felipe, or go down the list. Michael Rodriguez, who already got booted off tour. Like there's a long list that I haven't seen the American talent even come close to touching.
The only American talent / Hawaiian talent is John John. Like totally. John surfs at a different level. Like, and those top Brazilians all surf at a different level. And I don't see yet, at least like Colapinto or Jake Marshall or this crop surfing at the next level. Not that they can't get there. But it does. Nothing against their surfing either, right? They
surf's good.
Phenomenal talents.
Like 100 other QS warriors surf good, you know. And you watch Jack Robinson start to rise, and it's specifically you watch him at sunset. You go, holy cow, he's got a completely different thing that nobody else has, and at North Point and in barreling waves in general, even lefts, and you go, okay. That's a unique talent that Gabriel might be like. It's so specific to Jack Robinson that he could actually win an event, even against Gabriel, even against Idolo.
It's the like. I think it comes down to the way they read the waves. Like these guys, I think the ones who are like feel in another league see things and do things on a wave that I wouldn't even see, right? Like the Jake Marshalls of the world, I feel like they follow the Colapintos and Marshalls, they follow the same line, right? Like you basically know what they're going to do. The Robinsons, Florences, Toledos, Idolos do things like, it's like they're artists that are creating. Yeah. They're not like printing stuff. They are, master strokes with brushes, where I feel young crop, they're great reprints.
Yeah. Totally agree. Good way to put it. It's funny to see I'm glad that everybody's celebrating him because the story is good. Yeah. And so I can get behind that story. But man, as far as me, I'm always going to root for, I don't care about patriotism. I'm going to vote and root for the best surfer.
Yeah.
I just want to see the best surfing, and I want everybody to elevate to that level. And so until he shows me something that I think there's just too long of a list of the Wade Carmichaels and everybody else who just shows up on tour and then falls by the wayside. And we've talked it ad nauseum. We don't need 32 surfers on tour. Nope. So unless you're going to be competing in that top 10, get out of the way. And I'd be really surprised if he competes in that top 10.
Yeah.
I hope the best.
Sure. Great. I mean, the who else just got on again too?
Connor O'Leary.
Yeah. Connor O'Leary, which I feel saying Connor O'Leary, fantastic surfer, right?
Yeah.
Like great to watch, but there's no way he's going to be
top 10.
There's no way he's going to be top 15.
Right.
Like,
I know. Yep. I know. Okay. But back to Ben Gravy.
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying like, we're talking about him more than we're talking about the WSL. Last week I mentioned Ben Gravy very likely could be making more money in this year than Julian Wilson, certainly more than Clay Marzo.
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting point of where we're at right now.
I mean, and view-wise, I would imagine, like even though those,
for sure.
Like even, if it is 50 to 80, that's not great. That's still better than a World Surf League contest.
Yeah.
By far. And if he's churning that out by the dozens, by the tens of dozens, then
totally.
I mean, he is a bigger thing, but that doesn't surprise. I mean, Beach Crit's like 18 million times the size of the World Surf League in terms of internet traffic.
Right. So that listener also continued the DM and said there was a redeeming bit for the Ben Gravy saga, which was his honeymoon. They're honeymooning in Portugal and filming all of that and surfing a bunch and getting good waves and like documenting the vibe of wherever they're going. And it's back to peak Ben.
Imagine you're Ben's wife going on your honeymoon with a film crew.
So now that's where the real talking comes in. So this listener said he went surfing on his honeymoon, and he finished this story by saying, my ex still comes at me or still makes fun of me that she should have left right then and there, flown home to get the divorce proceedings starting rather than waiting for 13 years. So surfing on your honeymoon, nah, for me.
I mean,
so surfing on your honeymoon is the question.
Well, that's the thing.
And bringing a film crew is the second question.
I mean, if your significant other likes to surf, I say, of course, surfing on your honeymoon is barrel. I think the honeymoon, though, should be a specific thing that you guys are sharing together, right? Like, so it shouldn't be for one of you. Like, and the thought
Surf should be secondary.
Yeah. Like, unless your significant other is a surfer,
sure,
then go on one together, right?
Sure.
But like, if you're thinking, hey, we're going to go to this beautiful tropical place that has surf, but I know that you like to get massages, so it's going to be good for both of us. That, like, I feel if you're manipulating at that level, it's all good. Like, if she's all into it, fine enough, right?
Yeah.
But if you're manipulating to get a surf in, then I think you should sit back and question your motives and just say, I'm going to have plenty of time for surf. Like, I'm really going to put wife first.
Did you surf on your honeymoon?
Yes.
On either of your honeymoons?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Where didn't I go? Cersei and I did a round the world honeymoon.
Did you really? Yeah, I didn't know this.
It was like LA to Spain to Hong Kong to Bali to New York.
What a trip. How long were you gone?
I think it was about a month.
Did you plan that in advance, or was it just...
I don't know that they do it anymore. They used to do the round the world plane tickets.
Don't know about this.
Yeah, so you get round the world plane tickets. We got 2 business class round the world plane tickets, and it wasn't even that if I recall, it was like $10,000 a ticket.
That's a lot
for around the world. And you get to go business class, and you get to go. You can change it, like I think basically day of. The only thing is you can never go backwards. So as long as you're going forwards, and I can't remember, there was the number of stops was capped, but it was totally fun. Like, so you go somewhere, and we had ours planned. It didn't really deviate, but you theoretically could if you were like in Hong Kong thinking, I'd like to go to wherever right
Fascinating.
now. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
What's their problem with going backwards?
Because you got to keep...
why though? Like, it doesn't cost them anymore if you go backwards. Maybe because they felt people were going to game the system.
Yeah, I think and maybe it does cost more, gas-wise. Like if you're going back here and then back here, like they're probably got their margins sorted out, right? Where the way it works is to keep moving around.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you're going barrel on honeymoon surfing?
I'm going barrel on honeymoon surfing if your significant other surfs, and or if she says, no, go surfing, honey. But then that's when you really have to gauge. You have to say, okay, is she saying this passively aggressively, right, or will come to take this back later?
Right.
Like, you really have to know your spouse's motivations better than they even know them. Because of course on a honeymoon, they'll say, great, go. Like, I don't know what Ben Gravy's wife does, but Ben Gravy's wife is clearly along for Ben Gravy's ride, right? Where at some point, does being along Ben Gravy's train get boring for her? Is she like, wait a second, I never...
She knows what she signed up for, so that's on her.
Exactly, but to know what she signed up for...
and then to live it.
And then to live it are two different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, maybe she is as... much. I mean, she was a fan, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was a Ben Gravy fan. Was she not?
Yeah. In the documentary, they covered this. He was wearing a t-shirt that she liked. So she commented on his Instagram about his t-shirt, and he slid into her DMs.
Yeah.
Well, look, congrats to the Gravy couple. Great call by being in Portugal right now. I think that's a phenomenal location, a honeymoon.
Yep.
And, if listeners want to send them donations, they can go to their YouTube channel and make a donation. Behind the headlines. So there's a new segment for us.
Great.
Rather than me reading your work,
I
would just see the headlines, I shake my head and I go, what the F? How about I just read you your own headlines on the show, and then you either explain what the story was, defend the headline.
Great.
I'll let you take it away.
Perfect.
All right, we're going to start with, quote, Kelly Slater's sustainable outerwear brand Outerknown stuffs landfills with festive cheer ahead of the holiday season.
That was a good one.
WTF is my question.
That was a good one. So I'm out getting the mail, and pulling it out of the mailbox, and there was a big old full bleed flyer, like mailer for Outerknown. Like I didn't, or it was for somebody else, accidentally got stuffed in my box. But I was looking at this thinking, and it said something about sustainability on the cover of this thing that is going directly into everybody's. I didn't even know if it was recyclable, to be honest. Like, I'm sure, like, you would have thought they would have made that a big deal on there. If we're literally sending junk mail, we're sending junk mail to people. We're going to put on there, we plant like Patagonia does. We plant a tree for every piece of junk mail we send, or whatever. Not that Patagonia does that. But to have no mention of, like, it just seemed so absurd to me. The amount of waste, literally, on printing this, the color ink, I think all of this stuff is pretty not the best for the environment, right? And I know there's environmentally friendly ways to do it, but to me, it was peak Kelly hypocrisy. And like even the flyer itself was like LL Bean catalog too. There's like a Saint Bernard on the cover with a scarf around its neck, and it was so unrelated to anything. Not that I need my surfy stuff surfy, and not that Outerknown is necessarily a surf brand, and not that it's marketed at surfers. I understand all that, but it was so divorced from any kind of semblance of any kind of sensical thing that it was like, it was peak Kelly hypocrisy. Absolutely.
I mean, who even advertises via post mail with those junk mail catalogs?
And there was nothing to even,
because you didn't sign up for their mailing list.
No, of course not. And there was nothing, and it was not addressed to me. But there was nothing to even do with it. It was purely junk mail. Like, it's not like there was a, rip off, thing to send back in if you want a catalog.
It's just right there with the penny saver and the local grocery stores.
Except thicker cardstock, definitely more ecologically damaging than any of that other stuff.
Right.
With no call to action other than go online. Like,
use this catalog to go online and buy our stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, of
That's
course.
Hilarious.
It was
the title. Turns out
true.
I'm on your side on this one. I guess we should make this game where I have to decide whether or not your title was just straight defamatory or sensible.
I felt that I even pulled a punch. I felt I could have gone way harder.
Yeah, you could have.
But there was a really funny title.
So I also think lots of times your articles aren't even newsworthy.
Yeah.
It's just a salacious headline, clickbait or whatever. That's an article that's worthy.
Sure.
That's worth discussing in the surf space.
I felt about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly Slater's sustainable outerwear brand Outerknown stuffs landfills with festive cheer ahead of the holiday season.
Yep.
Solid.
True.
Solid. Sensible, accurate, true.
Yep.
Why aren't all surf media outlets discussing this?
Exactly.
Okay. Article number 2. Brazil enters morally murky water by hosting animal abuse adjacent World of Dog Surf contest.
Yeah. This one I feel a little less solid about, but I will say, so I just happened to see that Brazil had some dog surfing contest, right? I don't know if it was, I'm sure it wasn't the first one. Sure it won't be the last one. But funny thing, what made me think about doing a story was anytime, and I mean anytime, I post an animal on Beach Grit's Instagram feed, guaranteed, unless it's like, I mean, I'll say anytime. I suppose maybe a dog like wagging its tail or something. I guess that's not the kind of stuff I post there. But it's not that the animal I post are always being abused or hurt or anything. But like you post a monkey, for example, doing something funny, and there'll be at least 20 comments of people saying, this is awful, awful, awful. Any animal in captivity, da-da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah. So then I was thinking, man, people really don't like when animals are made to do stuff or put places. So I'm going to give the audience what it wants.
Got it.
Calling dog surfing
So
animal abuse.
Brazil enters morally murky waters by hosting animal abuse adjacent World of Dogs surfing contest.
And the dog was also on a sup. Imagine if you were made to sup.
If you're a dog and you just want to go surfing, but they put you on a sup.
Exactly.
What if they foil a dog foil contest?
That's what I'm saying.
Super dangerous.
I mean, not only dangerous, but what if that dog like considers himself a classic shredder,
You
right?
can't go back to the dog park after this.
No. That dog ride in that dog's mind and heart, that dog rides a 6'1" thruster, like a high performance, light glassing, classic. Gonna do sweet, I don't know. What is the kind of move you do on that? Air reverses.
Yeah, but I see dogs do air reverses when they're jumping for a frisbee and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
They'll
So
throw a
that-
360 in there.
That dog is doing air reverses. That dog gets put on the nose of a sup. You're a supper, dog.
Embarrassment. Well, firstly, he's embarrassed about his owner.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
the main thing.
But he's doing the supping too.
Yeah.
He
He's
can't
being
choose.
forced to live his owner's lifestyle.
That's why it is, I think, animal abuse adjacent.
That's like when a teenager goes goth.
Yep.
They're just so embarrassed by their family upbringing and like, I don't know what, super conservative Christian culture, whatever it is, that they're just like, I am. So that dog will go goth.
Hopefully.
If given the chance,
Hopefully.
he'd be a goth dog.
Maybe he just like barks and bites and stuff.
Yeah, they do that too. Or famously, they'll scratch a patch into their fur.
Yeah.
They'll give themselves a rash because they're just like going stir crazy at home.
Yep.
So, yeah, sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. Brazil.
Should have known better.
I mean, that place has a lot of problems. This is at the top of the list.
Sure is.
Forget about COVID outbreaks or
Nope.
economic.
Rainforest burning down.
Yeah. Abusing dogs. Article number 3. Former National Security Advisor and mid-length enthusiast Michael Flynn repurposes most popular surf term to describe QAnon subscribers. Quote, I have always believed it was a disinformation campaign to make people look like a bunch of kooks, end quote.
There we go.
That is a wordy title.
A wordy headline. Michael Flynn's surf thing was never discussed enough, I don't think, even though it was discussed quite a bit.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a proper surfer.
Really?
Like a surfer. Like
Where's
there's,
he from?
I think San Diego,
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
Like he like surfs, right? Like has a bunch of crusty local bros who will DM every once in a while and stuff like that. Like he is a known,
Didn't know this.
he's like I think a beach grit style surfer, a podcast listening surfer style.
50-year-old,
Exactly.
once every 5 years surf trip going,
Yeah.
wife funded.
And so when he's in, I'm always sort of, or whenever he comes up, surf is always at the top of the list of things I think about when I see him in the news. And so when he says something like kook, then I can't not write it.
So the two tie-ins here, I didn't realize he was a surfer. I thought the only tie-in to the surf world was the fact that he used the term kook.
No.
But he's using it because he's
a surfer.
A mid-lengther.
Yeah, he's a mid-lengther. Mid-lengther.
Do you know what kind of mid-length?
No, it's their picture of it. He's holding, I mean, it almost looks like a CI. It's not, but yeah.
I'll have a closer
It's probably
look.
like, and it's probably not even mid-length that he rides. It's probably like big guy boards.
Yeah,
you know, like
fun board.
not a fun board, like the big guy short board, like the 6'6" rusty kind of thing.
Got it.
Like thick, like big guy short board.
His quote, again, I did not read the article. His quote, I can't tell. Does he believe QAnon or is he anti-QAnon?
Well, that was the thing. The article that I read was even confusing. It didn't seem like what
is he calling the QAnoners kooks or the people who were saying that QAnon was disinformation? Kooks?
No, I think he was saying, even though he's been to QAnon, like I think conferences and whatnot, I think he was saying the way that QAnon was presented to
By the media?
Yeah, to make people look like a bunch of kooks, right? Like it's this weird conspiracy and they're dealing with so again, it was a confusing article to begin with, but what I took away was that he was thinking the QAnon thing has real serious components to it that are valid and valuable. The media took it and painted it all with this tinfoil hat brush and made everybody look like a bunch of kooks.
Got it.
What was my takeaway? So he was not anti-Q. He was anti, he was anti the what you and I would think, what our interpretation of Q is. He's anti that.
So confusing.
Yeah.
And the media, I'm not pro media in today's day and age, but the media got that one right.
Yeah.
The QAnon thing is insane.
Yeah. Strange.
And, I mean, well, perfect reflection of the time that we live in, where it's kind of like, our president or whoever is making such insane, I still back him, but he's making such insane statements. Let's create a dumpster fire over here.
Yeah.
And just focus all the attention at this dumpster fire. And, you know, then they'll not notice what's going on here. And it's all related somehow, but like, at least this, we can point, we can blame, we can add the other Hillary's name. We'll throw that into the dumpster fire. So let's talk about that. Like
with the whole Q thing, like I totally don't, I mean, I haven't studied up. I don't doubt that there is like.
Did you watch the documentary?
No.
Oh man, there's a phenomenal,
very good. Oh yeah. We talked about it where they actually find Q. Yeah.
On HBO, it's a 4-part series.
Yeah.
Yes. They find him. The whole thing's a hoax.
Yeah.
It's done as a hoax. The guys who did it just like for their own giggles.
So maybe that's what Flynn was talking about.
Yeah. And so then people started getting behind it and they're like, oh my gosh, like, let's go with this.
Yeah.
This has legs, you know, and just could not believe that like important surgeons, doctors, academics were all
cued,
verifying, validating, coming up with reasons to support their reasoning or, you know, evidence to support their reasoning. While the guy who started it is like not the brightest one in the room going, are you guys kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, well, I can't stop now.
Strange days.
Totally strange days. Incredible days.
Kooks.
Actually. All right, kooks. So
if you hear kook in any context, is your first thought surfing?
No. And so like we were trying to track the etymology of a word earlier in the show. I already forgot what the word was.
Etymology. Which one? Which word?
Yeah, exactly. Which word were we talking about earlier where I'm like, where does that come from?
Oh, salad days.
Salad days.
Yeah.
We need listeners. Call in. Let us know the etymology of the word kook.
I mean,
and of salad days.
There's two for kook. There is like kuke or something is Hawaiian for feces.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then there's like, of course, cuckoo, you know, like cuckoo bird.
I don't think that's where it comes from.
I mean, those are the two theories online.
Okay.
Is that it's as it relates to surf, the kuke or whatever you pronounce it, Hawaiian word for poop.
That makes more sense to me. So, but I feel like I was aware of the word kook outside of the surf realm even before.
I mean, I think cuckoo is, you know, somebody is cuckoo, so somebody is a kook. I think both are true. Okay. I think both exist separately.
Okay. Well, listeners.
But when Flynn uses it, he's using it in a surf way.
Right, of course.
Because he's a surfer.
So the listener line, by the way, is 760-237-0150.
Call in,
educate us. I meant to Instagram, which haven't been using lately, to Instagram to tell people to call in with their Thanksgiving horror stories.
Oh yeah.
Like what went wrong?
Yes.
We told you to talk about politics. How wrong did that go?
Yes.
Call in and let us know.
Advice gone bad.
Yeah. And even if they didn't do it last week, they can call us. We'll do it next week.
Great.
Yeah. Advice gone bad. What's the advice that we've given you that went horribly awry?
Yep. Can't wait to hear.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We're running before we go to break. Quick, there's 3 news stories. Actually 2, because we already talked about Jake Marshall. Comment on them if you want. Quicksilver House selling for $5 million and the Eddie being on, quote unquote.
Quicksilver House selling for $5 million. I think the big surprise was that it was owned by a Chinese consortium, that it was not actually the Quicksilver House.
But it was still Quicksilver's house. They just didn't actually own it.
Yeah.
Okay,
they did not own it. Got it. I think the price that it sold for was surprising.
Shocking.
It just seemed so cheap.
Well, it was listed, as you reported, or Derek reported in 2016 for 15 mil.
Yep.
And then it sold for, I think 15 or 16. And then it sold for 5.
Is it a product of climate change worry, do you think? Or what's
well, what's shocking, you're right. The price was shocking to me too. What's shocking is that in Southern California, prices have only gone up in that amount of time. And significantly, like crazy, crazy numbers right now in the real estate market. So maybe Hawaii real estate is affected by COVID because there's no travelers for the last 2 years.
It was really strange to me that that's what that house was worth.
I feel like it's the right number though. Like the fact that prices are where they're at in general is so
Crazy.
inflated.
I hear you, but a house compared to other stuff, that's all we can do. Compared to what you're going to get in Los Angeles or, anywhere, like $5 million for a house on the on the sand.
I know.
On the North Shore.
I know.
It's crazy.
Well, on the sand anywhere, you'd pay $5 million.
That's what I'm saying.
Feel.
But especially there.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
It's weird.
It is surprising. What's the right number there then? What do you think? 8, 10?
15?
I think 15 is too high.
I mean, imagine though, there's only a certain amount of real estate there.
But that's the other thing is, it's only important to surfers. Like being on that exact coast is only important to surfers. So you have to be a surfer who has a lot of money to really want to buy there.
Did Derek report who purchased?
No.
I'd be curious.
Yeah. So what's the story behind the Chinese consortium? Like Quick was short on money at some point. So
at some point they just sold it to a Chinese.
They just took on investment for it?
No, I think it was just the Chinese consortium has either always owned it and Quick always rented it or sold it to a Chinese consortium at some point.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, also reported in that story was that they originally paid 1.5.
Yeah.
So they're still getting out with a huge profit. It's funny when that doesn't feel like a huge profit anymore.
$4 million.
It's like, I spent 1.5 and I made 5. I took a bath because I could have sold for 15 if I timed it right. It's like, no, that's a huge, huge amount of money and a life-changing amount of money.
Counting the money that you were going to make as opposed to, you made a lot. You could have made more theoretically, but you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm feeling bad about that. It's like gambling. When you go and gamble and you we're going to put, X amount on a hand of blackjack, but you put less and then you win, then you're like,
I know.
Dang it.
The sting is painful, more painful than the win itself.
Exactly.
You're like, you're still up,
yeah,
but you're pissed that you're not up as much as you were.
Exactly.
Or you would have been.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on the Eddie? Is it going to run? Is it not? The Eddie Instagram account, the Eddie I Cow, posted saying, we're going green light for the waiting window. We are going to run if there are waves.
Yeah.
You think that happens?
I don't know that this, I don't want to call it. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like weird weather patterns more and more. And so who knows that that YMA doesn't get hit with 50-foot waves.
Forget about that. Let's say there are waves. Let's say there's an Eddie swell, an Eddie worthy swell. Do you think they actually run the event?
Who
exactly
is the money behind the Eddie now?
Exactly. I have no idea.
If Red Bull, it might be.
There's no sponsor.
There's no sponsor?
Not on that poster.
Yeah, I have a hard time because weren't there contestable waves last year?
Yes.
And I guess COVID, but there were days that you could have contested it.
Yes.
I don't see it running, unfortunately.
I don't even know why they made that comment. It takes tremendous organization to pull this off. So I don't know who's behind it.
I mean, maybe they're in full on fundraising mode, right? Maybe they're Ben Gravy.
They didn't post that either.
I mean,
so I thought that was a possibility that they do say that, but they didn't say that.
Maybe behind the scenes, they're really, and they have to say, hey, we're a go this year. So give us some money.
I would love to see it come together. I have very little faith.
Ben Gravy should partner with the Eddie.
Imagine that would be the ultimate YouTube videos. Yep. Ben surfing the Eddie on the soft top.
Do you think that Ben could paddle into a wave at the Eddie?
No.
You don't think so?
Heck
Why, Mayo?
Heck
What about pinballs?
Yes. Yeah, that's doable. But no, definitely not. He wouldn't get an invite, first of all. Let's go to commercial break, and then I've got some barrel or nos for you.
Great.
Can we actually do a commercial
for
AG?
Yep.
We haven't done one in a long time. Chas Smith, we are funded and fueled by AG1.
You know what is a necessary component of my holiday season?
Vodka.
And
pumpkin pie.
And
what else?
Athletic Greens.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
The sort of sloth of the holidays.
Yep.
That catches up. I think, you're just
totally
sitting around, you're eating, you're being lame. Powering an Athletic Greens in the morning and AG1 first thing gives me motivation to go out and do something with all those vitamins and minerals that I just put into myself.
Well, because not only is it good for your diet and your health, it stimulates your brain activity.
Oh, that's
it
why
gets your
then.
neurons firing.
That's why.
It truly is.
I'm ready to go.
So you sleep better, your brain is more efficient throughout the day, and then your body is obviously processing the fuel.
I make better decisions when I wake up and drink an AG1.
Undoubtedly. So I told you it clumps up at the bottom. No matter how much shaking, cannot get those clumps to break. I'm wasting health right there. That is my health going to waste.
Do you want to know? I hate to say it because the bottle is so beautiful, but maybe they could make what I do at home. What I do at home now is I put it in a ball jar, a glass ball jar.
Mason jar.
Mason jar. Ball.
The brand
Same
is
thing.
Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mason jar.
I just wanted to clarify for listeners who
Sorry.
don't know the brand name. It is a ball jar, but the
A
type
mason,
of jar
a
is
mason jar.
Yeah.
And have never once had a clump. I think the plastic has something to do with the clump.
Maybe. And also the fact that it was sitting there unshaken for a bit.
Maybe
it hardened.
Yeah.
At any rate, I will drink 99% of it. I'll miss out that 1% of health, but I'll drink the rest of it. But athleticgreens.com/surf is our portal. Join the Wallace Smith family. Join the Scales family. Reclaim your health. Arm your immunity. It's convenient. It's daily nutrition. Headed into cold and flu season.
Gift one
Oh my gosh.
over Christmas to somebody who needs optimum health.
Great idea. If you have benefited from optimum health with AG1, give the gift of health. athleticgreens.com/surf. You will get a 1-year free supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs.
Do not forget to put the /surf in there.
Definitely do not. Can you imagine? Lost support.
Oof.
Yeah. athleticgreens.com/surf. Good commercial, Chaz.
Great commercial.
Yeah, I feel like the people, they want to hear the live reads.
The crazy thing is about AG1, Athletic Greens, I was home the other day. I was wearing my Athletic Greens sweater around the house. And the family, I don't know what to call them, wife's ex-husband's wife. Wife's ex-husband's wife.
I'm not sure what you would call
Yeah,
that.
she's basically
Unusual.
sister wife, more or less. Like family's real close. They were over. She saw my Athletic Greens and said, I was just going to order this up. And I was going to use Rogan's thing. And I said, do not.
How dare her.
Do not. I gave her some travel packs. I said, this one's on
Sealed
me.
the deal right there.
This one's on me. /surf.
Yep. My mom signed up.
Yeah.
I would have hooked my mom up for free. And
Yeah.
she signed up on her own without me knowing. And the other day she was over to hang with the baby. She's like, yeah, in the morning when I'm doing my Athletic Greens. I was like, what?
Athletic
I
Greens.
know. Look at that. Good for her.
To win.
Yeah. Well, as long as she's healthy, that's all that I care about. I love thinking of you wearing your AG1 sweater with your album slides.
Exactly.
Rocking it.
Just being me.
Rocking it. Barrel or nah? Not eating your pizza crust.
Oh, I'm going to go barrel. I'm going to go barrel.
You're avoiding pizza crust.
Yes. I avoid my own, to be honest.
Shocking.
Get rid of it. Like,
Terrible.
you're filling up, you're eating pizza, right? This is
Hopefully.
this is an enjoyable thing that you're doing. You're eating a pizza, you like the pizza. Why are you going to fill space in your stomach with bread when you could have the delicious parts in there instead? The pizza crust
Counterpoint.
is a waste of time and space. The only thing it's good for is a handle to hold. I don't eat my fork.
Making an edible fork would be an epic business decision. So here's my counterpoint to you. Bread is one of the greatest things.
Love bread.
Bread is phenomenal.
Bread's great.
So one of the best breads that exist, pizza crust. If your pizza crust is not editable, you're eating bad pizza. You need to elevate your pizza game. If you go to, I'm going to use an extreme example. You go to Naples.
Yep.
Forget about Naples. You were on the Amalfi Coast,
Yep.
the Amalfi Coast recently, right? You go to watch that soccer game, right? Is that what happened? Okay. I'm trying to remember the story. You sit down at that cafe, whatever, and you order a pizza. Are you going to eat that crust? Yes.
Plausibly.
Yes, because it's amazing.
No, I still don't. I was flashing back to my recent Italian adventure, thinking of all the crusts littering my plate.
That's like saying I ordered a croissant in France, or the pain au chocolat in France, and I ate out the chocolate part and left the rest of the pastry on the plate.
It's like going to a fine steakhouse and eating all the bread when it comes out. Who does that? Nobody.
No, that's not what it is at all.
You're filling up.
That's a bad analogy.
Unnecessary stuff.
One of the greatest breads on the planet is the
true.
pizza crust bread. That is a phenomenal bread.
But what's even better than pizza crust bread is that bread with melted cheese on it, that same bread smeared in melted cheese and some pepperoni, some anchovies.
Yeah, I'm fine with all that part. For me, the crust is almost the highlight. Like I enjoy all of the toppings and the sauce and all that, but I get to that crust and I use it to sop up the red chili oil that I used and whatever the parts that fell off, fold it together, sop it all up, and the crust actually has a crisp and a crunch to it that the rest of the dough does not have because it got saturated in moisture.
You and I should go eat a pizza together. I'll just throw you all my crusts.
Well, I won't do it.
The
I
whole
don't trust
your
germs.
will get eaten.
So the funny thing is, so we'll agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going not eating your pizza crust just means you're eating awful pizza. Elevate your game, not barrel.
I'm going to say no matter how great the crust is, it's not better than the pizza. No barrel.
Okay. Agree to disagree. The funny thing is this guy sent 3 barrel or nas in an email. And the third one was the pizza crust one. And he signed off the email with like, oh, that last one's pretty silly. Like, I don't really, stand behind it. I'm like, that was the only one that matters. The pizza crust one, forget about these other 2 that you think are important. Pizza is all that matters.
Serious.
Ben Gravy is about For the Dream and it's about him surfing. This is my dream. I just want to eat pizza all the time.
I love pizza.
I would have a full-on podcast vlog. You want to pull back the curtain of David Scales' life? Go ahead, come into my home and film me eating pizza. I will do that.
You make a pizza at home, don't you?
Yeah, we were on a once a week campaign for over a year. Every Wednesday night, we would make pizza at home. So that's why I'm committed to crust as well, was we're making the crust at home, making slight adjustments each week. And I'm all about the crust. Love the crust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got poked fun of for eating pizza when I was in Italy by my traveling companions.
Why? Why would they make fun of that?
I don't know. I think they thought it was childish, lowbrow.
Eating pizza in Italy is lowbrow?
Yeah.
You need new friends.
I mean, I should have been eating the veal and things like that.
Yeah, eat that too.
Yeah.
I like how your friends who take you on a sailing vacation around the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I'm like, make new friends.
Yeah.
Get those guys out of here. Barrel or nah? Wearing cologne.
Barrel. Huge barrel.
I noticed you walked in here and I got a whiff.
Yeah, that's all I wear.
Wearing cologne right now?
Of course. It's the only thing I wear.
That's all I wear.
I don't wear deodorant. I just wear cologne.
Do you douse your pits?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Gross.
No, it's perfect. French. I'm French.
Oh, eau de toilette?
Exactly.
Wow. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barrel.
Do you have a specific type that you wear exclusively?
Nope. I'll mix it up. I typically will have in rotation the Hermes de Terre. I'll do a throw in, kind of slide back and forth between Saint Laurent. Dior is not very good, surprisingly.
Okay.
I'll accidentally get Dior too much, and then I'll remember, oh, wait, I don't like this. Saint Laurent is probably my favorite.
Do you ever mix?
No.
Okay.
I mean, at the same time?
Yeah, get a little of this, a little of that.
No, but that's a good idea.
It'd be interesting. Come up with a custom smell.
Yeah.
We're talking about Surf Brand's album should just commit to making the best slide.
Yep.
Or Surf Brand should make a pen. You should create your own
A
scent.
cologne, like a beach grit.
A beach grit scent.
What would beach grit smell like?
Great question. You would know because I don't wear cologne.
Martini.
Filth.
Yeah.
It would smell like the olive juice filth that I advertised.
Perfect.
It should have some of that.
Do you not
I'd put a dab on that.
Do you not wear cologne?
Dude, I've never once spritzed my body in cologne.
Wow.
And I'm committed to it for the rest of my life.
Wow.
So just as I don't wash my hair, just as I never stepped foot in a gym until about a year ago, I went 39 years of my life never stepping foot in a gym.
Yeah.
I was proud of it and I wanted to commit to it until this portion of my body right here started developing. And I turned into the mirror and I got a good look or a bad look at the side, fat back, lower back kind of pudge. And I was like, wait a second.
Going to the gym.
Well, it wasn't that. It was partially that, and then it was the pregnant fiance leaving the house to go to the gym while I was sitting on the sofa. That was part number 2.
Do you not like the smell, like fine smells? Smelling fine?
I think I smell. I'm actually proud of my own must.
You don't though, like go into say a department store, a Macy's or whatnot, walk past the.
That's not me. Like that smells fine, but it smells like some other dude wearing a business suit. That does not smell like me.
But it all mixes in with your, like each scent you have, like becomes yours.
I feel like I already have my own scent, and it has a certain pheromone that I would hope would be appealing to my partner or the fairer sex. And so I'm cool with it. And like, I don't want to smell fake. I don't want to be putting something on that isn't from me. Like I go to the beach, I have some salt water character in me, whatever. I don't know what I'm getting at. All I know is I'm fine with my scent. I don't need to add anything to it. But what I am noticing, the older I get, and maybe I'm going to the beach less, so I'm getting less cleansing from the salt water, is I've got some funky scents coming off of me now.
The saltwater seal is such an important thing. Like
that helps a lot.
Almost worth surfing alone for the saltwater seal.
Solves a lot of problems.
Brining thyself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then so now what I might do is dab a little of that filth on the back of my ears.
Yep.
Come out of the sea. I've got the sea brine.
Now go on some.
Dab some.
Brine.
Olive brine.
Yep. Perfect.
Right.
That's your scent.
I'll get back to you next week on that.
I do recommend for our listeners to go get themselves though go and try a couple on. Pick one out. See how it makes you feel. It'll boost your confidence. Makes you feel like a better man.
Lauren she lived in England. So she was buying like a perfume. By the way, perfume for women, I'm all for.
Yeah.
I like that. She was buying it from Harrods. And it was a very specific scent, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's wildly expensive and you can't buy it here. And so then she somehow figured out an angle. I think she has a friend there that is able to ship it to her, but she told me the price and I was like, out of control. And then her friend sent the wrong one.
Ooh.
Because it's all just slight variations.
Sure.
The same brand, but I don't know, it's a different number or something. And so the friend sent the wrong one. It's like, I just wasted all this money on this tiny bottle and I can't even use it now.
She can.
I think she gifted it to her mom.
Oh, wow. Well, good gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
But perfume, like pens, worth spending a lot of money on. They're one of the finer things.
I'm running out of money between all these things you're recommending.
Yeah, it's
I don't
okay.
have any money anymore.
It's okay. Listeners, support David Lee. Send him a donation.
All right. I've got another diet related one, but I'm going to save that for next week. So we're not all diet related. Barrel or not. This was from the guy with the pizza crust. Barrel or not. Yelling at people who drive too fast on your street.
Oh, hit me where I live. Yes.
You yell
Barrel.
at people about this?
Full on. Like, I'm always mad when they're so fast that they are gone by the time I come out to yell. Like, which is.
Oh, so it's not you outside that sees it. You hear it?
Oh yeah. I've chased cars down the street. I pulled a guy out of his car by his neck at the end of the street.
How did that happen? Give me the story.
He just went flying down the street and I honestly was so livid. I just chased him down, ripped open his car door, grabbed him out of the car by his neck. And then a neighbor came out and said, something like, I threatened somebody with a chainsaw before and I got in huge trouble. Don't go down this path.
Is it your neighbor behind you that makes all that noise that you told me?
No, it wasn't that one. It was like on the...
So what were you planning to do?
Well, that was the problem. Once I got him out of the car, that's why neighbor comes running out and says, he told me that after. He said, back away. You don't want this. And so I think I just yelled at the guy and then backed away.
Was it a young kid?
Yeah. And I think he might've been drunk. He wasn't that young. He was probably 24 or something. Young enough.
It's a sub 25 move.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm not even selfishly, whatever, my kids, and there's a ton of kids perpetually in the street.
Right.
There's a lot of kids, not just my kid, neighbor kids down the street. And to rip through a neighborhood, just don't do it. There's no reason to speed. You don't look cool. You're not, and I know that it's like a full Clint Eastwood old man thing to do to yell, but I'm a yeller.
Yeah. Yeah. This is something that I would not have said barrel on 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but I agree now it's just infuriating.
It's infuriating.
It really is infuriating.
It's like,
it's one of those things.
because it's ultimate selfishness, like, which anything now that just reeks of pure selfishness
Correct.
is infuriating. That's the same. It's the same I feel about e-bikers in general, like ripping around everywhere. Like, if you're on an e-bike, fine. You're on a motorcycle. I get it. That's cool. Drive it in the street like a motorcycle, or, you know, whatever. Like, but e-bikers ripping around bike paths, going full speed, you know, like through parks, full speed, like 30 miles an hour. Like, what do you do? Like, that is pure distilled selfishness.
They don't, the disconnect is they don't view it as selfish, because when that 24-year-old is driving, he is never going to make, in his mind, he's not going to make a mistake. If a kid jumps out, he thinks he can stop or dodge and it'll never go wrong.
Sure. But having enough self-awareness to think, oh, you know,
Too young and dumb, dude.
I mean, it's true, but man, I imagine too, I'd yell at people for their own sake. Imagine you hit and kill a kid.
Oh, I know.
How that would alter your life.
Totally. Hopefully you go to jail.
I mean, for sure. But the rest of your life, I would imagine you would be haunted by by speeding that you didn't in a neighborhood.
I see pedestrians and even bicyclists stepping off of curbs at super busy intersections where people are going to be making a right turn, you know, and they don't look back. They step off the curb staring at their phone or ride their bike straight through the intersection without glancing back to make sure that nobody's going to hit them. And I just think to myself, you are so reckless and careless. As the pedestrian, you need to be looking out for yourself, especially in the world we live in where people are in their car looking at their phones all the time. Like, I would not trust any driver out there to be looking out for my best interest.
No.
You know, I'm amazed at people's recklessness or absent-mindedness nowadays.
But if we all just slowed down in neighborhoods, if we took that one simple step, the world would be a better place.
I agree. Yeah, 25 speed limit in residential is what it is around here. Stick to it. Don't break it. Funnily, I'm living in a neighborhood that similar to where I grew up, or close to where I grew up. And when I was 16 years old, my first car was a 68 Mustang.
Ooh, nice.
Epic first car, right? And I drove it fast through that neighborhood. And I remember an old man with a little dog shaming me, like me flying down the street and him like walking his dog up ahead, heard me coming, turned around and was just like yelling at me as I drove past when I was 16 years old. I saw that old man recently.
Whoa.
I'm driving through that same neighborhood now.
Going 25?
No. Yeah, I was actually. Now I was. And I saw him and I was like, it might have been a different dog. He did have a dog with him this time too. And he's aged, 25 years or whatever. And 25 years. And I was like, flashback. And him having shamed me back then actually worked.
Did it? Did you slow down after that?
Maybe not 100% of the time, but yes, it stuck with me. Like, I felt bad for having been shamed, so much so that I remembered this guy 25 years later.
Well, that's
He was like 90 years old now. I'm like, that's the same dude.
That's pretty awesome.
I mean, my memory's flawed. It might not have been, but I'm pretty sure it was.
That's great.
Because he was aged the exact same amount. He looked the same. He's walking the same street with a dog.
Fantastic.
Crazy, right?
Yep. So. You go stink and yell though. Like everyone should.
Also, if they have a loud muffler, that's a problem for me too.
Yeah. I mean, I won't yell at a muffler, but I yell, and not just like there's adults, grown ass adults flying down my street. But I will say, now that I think about it, it's happening less and less. And I do believe my reign of terror has net positive benefits.
Grumpy local.
Yeah.
You're grumpy local. You just got to punch one kid out and the word will travel.
That's it.
Through everyone.
I've chased, that was not just that was one of maybe 8 that I've chased. Wow. And either kicked the car. I love a good car kick, man. Oh, that's my regular move. If I'm like entering a crosswalk and somebody is barreling in and not paying attention, I lick my lips right when they're flying. I will kick their door or fender as hard as I can and I've caused proper dents. Wow. Which makes me super happy. Like, have they ever sought retribution? They'll slide. I've had a couple skid, like, when I kick them, they'll slam on the brakes, get out, like, what the, and then I will match their rage
intensity.
by like times 10 and just start bull charging straight ahead. Like, I was in.
Well, you're in the right.
Exactly.
As a pedestrian,
Crosswalk.
they have to acquiesce.
So only have ever chased people back into their cars, drive away.
Okay, I'm for this.
Yeah.
I'm for this.
Kick a car.
Yeah. And
Better than kicking a dog.
Always better than kicking a dog. There's nothing that would justify kicking a dog or taking it SUPing. And listeners who go out this week and implement this advice, call in with your stories of how it went horribly wrong.
I want to hear a car kick story.
Right.
Oh, I mean, I guess in this day, I should probably not give that. I mean, the amount of guns in people's cars is probably not a good idea to kick cars anymore.
And also like fully active mixed martial arts practitioners.
Yeah.
Got to watch out for that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this has been a good show. Album Surf, thanks for the Christmas gift.
Man, thank you, Album.
I said that when I read the description, I said it has the co-branded logo, CW and Album. CW is Clearweather.
Okay.
They're a local independent shoe manufacturer out of Santa Ana.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's
Love
what
it.
that was.
Love it.
And yeah, Chaz, beachgrit.com, @surfjournalist. Is there anything else that we need to say?
Oh, yeah. I do have something to say. If you are looking, you have your children, looking to go catch a Nutcracker ballet this holiday season, highly recommend. The San Diego Academy of Ballet and Ballet Theater's production at the, I think it's the Escondido Center for Performing Arts or something.
Okay.
It is December 17, 18, and 19. Get tickets online. Go treat yourself to the Nutcracker, and you will be treated to watching me dance as Mother Ginger and a party dad. I dance ballet.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Who's going to film this?
I don't know.
Get somebody. I need to see this, but I'm not driving down there.
Yeah, Escondido. Yeah.
Dying to see this.
If you're,
Are you wearing tights?
Yeah. So the Mother Ginger role for anybody who's seen the Nutcracker is I'm in drag, right? I'm a big mother with a giant skirt, and all the little ballerina bonbons are under my skirt, and so I dance there. But then the party dad scene is the one that's crushing me, where I actually have to dance, and it is so hard.
You've been training?
Yeah.
How has this not been incorporated into your Whoop stories?
I did one, me doing Mother Ginger ballet, so I might have to do another one of Party Dad. Party Dad is any dad who has ever had a kid in ballet, I think, has been approached to dance the Party Dad scene, right? Because you have, I think for this production, there's like, they always have plenty of like basically professional or ex-professional female party moms or, women who, and then they don't have enough professional dads. So then they just go in and say, okay, dads of kids at the company, you're doing it. And so, yeah, it's me and 4 or 5, 6 other dudes who don't dance either, but wow, they're better than me.
I feel like I can hang with the athleticism and the endurance, but not the stretching part. Like I have no mobility in my legs and my hips.
I've started to stretch more just out of pure shame from all of this. But also, I'll tell you that impossible part is, have you ever danced in your life?
No.
It's remembering choreography.
Yeah,
like
I could not do it.
I am so, you realize how checked out of your own body you are, like where you see somebody doing something and the people who do it good, right? They'll run through it real quick. They'll say, okay, we're this and step and clap and da 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 da, right? And then I won't remember the first thing they did.
Right.
Like I'll blow it every time. My poor dance wife partner is always kind of ripping me around, like trying to put me in the right place. And yeah, hopefully by showtime, I'll get it.
I know for a fact I could not remember that either.
It is such a foreign concept in my mind. And I'm, at ballet, daughters in ballet, at least, I don't know how many hours a week, probably 15 to 20 hours a week. And so I'm there and, like when she used to get the choreography wrong, I'd say, get your stinking head in the game. Like concentrate, remember it, get your head in the game. And I'm realizing now
she's looking at you just like,
yeah, it is such a, I went to an advanced class, to try to improve myself. And the instructor, amazing, Miss Simone, I thanked her for allowing me to crash because it was all like proper professional ballerinas, and then young daughter. And I was like, man, I'm so bad at it. And she said, don't be too hard on yourself. Ballet is impossible. Which, I mean, I think that is truly the truth. Ballet is impossible. That's what makes it so great.
Fully believe that.
Yep.
Well, you need to film this. This will be the gift that keeps on giving if this is on film.
But people can go catch it live. You live in Greater San Diego. Buy tickets. I think they're going to sell out. And so, again, December 17th, 18th, 19th.
Cool.
The one you wanted, there's 2 different Nutcracker performances at the same theater, I think. So make sure to get the one for San Diego Academy of Ballet and Ballet Theater.
Cool. I just realized too, I have a few issues left of the current surfing world. Sean Doherty sent me them.
Saw it. Looks great.
Yeah. So I distribute kind of for, if you live in the US, you don't want to buy them from Australia. So he sends me a batch all at once to save on shipping costs and all that sort of stuff. So we're just selling them at cost. It's not a profit thing, but we have, I don't know how many, maybe a dozen issues left or so. So if you want Surfing World issue 415, come and get it, surfsplendorpodcast.com.
It's beautiful. It's art.
All right, Chaz, until next week.
Get barrel.